On this week's show, we take a look at Ryze 2.0, the LCS Spring Playoffs, and balls. All that and more on this week's Waypoint. What's up, guys, and welcome to Waypoint, your weekly League of Legends recap. I'm your host, Kat Andrusco. Ryze is the latest of the original 40 champions getting a rework. His shiny new kit is on the PBE right now, and it's pretty scary. With the way the meta looks right now, and items like Luden's Echo, I thought Ryze was in a very powerful position already. But as we've seen time and time again, whenever one of these old champions makes its way back into the meta, it's usually because they're broken. The rework seems like a smart idea. I mean, there is a reason that Faker has been spamming him in solo queue. As Ryze uses his abilities, he builds up stacks of arcane mastery. At max stacks, Ryze goes all Super Saiyan with some big buffs. Casting an ability significantly reduces the cooldown of his other abilities, and he gains a shield based on his max mana. Unrelated to his stacks, Ryze's damage-dealing abilities also scale up with his max mana, just like they do now. That is definitely part of Ryze's core identity, and I'm glad to see that that's staying. His new passive is going to be interesting. Making it stack-based is really going to depend on how quickly he can stack it up and how reliably he can do it. But is it going to be a Gnar situation where his team fight lives and dies on that transformation? Possibly. There's clearly a lot of power tied into his passive with the cooldown reduction alone, never mind the shield. Moving on to his Q, which is still a single target damage ability, but is now a skill shot. A buff to his range and poke, but a nerf in every other regard. Hopefully the damage is bumped up to reflect the higher skill cap, but it's really not fair to judge what's essentially a new champion on one ability. His W is still the same point-and-click single-target root. I think along with his mana scaling damage, those are the two things that really make Ryze, Ryze. His E is his most interesting new ability. Point-and-click single-target damage that as a follow-up hits all enemies around the target before returning to the original target. The damage increases the more targets there are. So using this against a champion in the middle of a minion wave or at a team fight is going to be awesome. One-on-one, not as awesome. Finally, his ultimate is much stronger, just because it passively grants a ton of cooldown reduction. He used to get CDR from his Q, but now that it's on his ulti, you get a lot more bang for your buck. The active part of his ultimate looks about the same, with spell vamp, move speed, and proccing AoE on all of his abilities. Overall, I love this rework. I think it keeps Ryze's core playstyle and identity while at the same time making him feel a bit more modern and interesting. I expect to see a lot of reworked Ryze this summer. The LCS Spring Playoffs conclude this week in North America and Europe. We've got the two third-place clashes on Saturday with SK Gaming facing off against H2K and Team Impulse taking on Team Liquid. There is more than pride on the line with the winning teams taking home extra season points. Points that potentially could be the difference between going to Worlds or staying home. The EU LCS is going on a road trip to Madrid for the matches this weekend. I am expecting some very loud and very passionate Spanish fans. The NA LCS is staying at home in Los Angeles. We've got the two best teams in North America going head-to-head this Sunday, and it should be a great matchup. Team Solo Mid versus Cloud9 in a best-of-5. It does not get any better than that. Not only will the winning teams in each region earn valuable season points, they'll also qualify for the Mid-Seasonal Invitational in Florida on May 7th. There, they'll face off against the top teams from all around the world, including China and Korea. Ever wondered which League pro player would be your soulmate? I mean, who hasn't? We came up with this quiz that asks you a few simple questions and spits out who your soulmate would be, and I took it, and I got balls. Pun seriously intended. Seriously, if you're a fan of the show, head on over to gpoffer.com/soulmate and check it out. and make sure to leave your results in the comments because I am very curious. And balls, that does it for this week's episode of Waypoint. For more video game news and content, head on over to GameBreaker.tv. Be sure to check back every week for the latest League of Legends news. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it to help us reach more people. And if you want more League of Legends content recaps and updates, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nation TV. I'm Kat Andrusco. You can follow me on Twitter @KatAndrusco. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next Waypoint.